podcasts over at wildgamesproductions.com and d20radio.com.
They came from the game table, dice bags in hand,
We have one brain that we share between us.
to talk about role-playing for all across the land.
And you'll like it.
The original, then basic, then one they scoured.
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
To bring AD&D to the second power.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn AD&D 2nd edition podcast ever.
I've been in the company, but I never run a Halloween game. I hear running them as a hoot. I just can't go. It's like coming up with a Christmas game, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah. Holidays. Let's just fight some. Hi, folks. THACO's Hammer, number 99.
Yep.
Boo.
Yeah, boo.
It's that time of year, folks, and I am DM Glenn, and with me I got, of course, Brian.
Hey, folks,
Yeah,
what's
Brian.
going on out there?
And DM Corey.
What's going on, everyone? The rum's flowing, the dice are rolling.
I'm just going down the line here. DM Full On Gamer.
Greetings, Gamer Nation. 99, one away. Let's get it.
I guess. And special guest we have DM Richard Lee Byers. Hi, Richard.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, well, I curb your enthusiasm there.
That was the peak. It's all that is from here.
That's it. We're done.
Oh, shut up,
everyone.
Glenn. Yeah, good night. Shut up, Glenn.
Good night.
Anyway, let's go to Hits and Crits.
Well? One thought he was invincible, the other thought he could fly. So? They were both wrong.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate!
Anybody else want to negotiate?
Hits and crits.
Hiya, Hits and Crits. What you been up to, Richard?
Well, the last Forgotten Realms book I did, what is The Reaver, it just came out in paperback, so I've been...
Congratulations.
Hoping and praying everybody will go buy that. I've been writing some stuff set in the Iron Kingdoms universe for Privateer Press.
Nice.
Cool.
I've working on a short story for the second anthology of The Awakened, and I am... let's see, I wrote just a bunch of kind of Cthulhu Mythos horror stories that I'm just felt like writing, and I'm trying to sell those. Mm-hmm. And I'm waiting for more information to come my way about a big project that I'm very excited about, but I'm not allowed to talk about yet.
Oh, damn. That means he's getting paid, folks. Anyway. Oh, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, yeah, plug away. We love it. Now, this new Realms book, what was the title again?
The Reaver. It's the fourth book in the Sundering series. It came out in hardback, I guess, about the first part of the year, that just came out in paperback. So everybody who's too cheap to buy it in hardcover should go buy it in paperback now.
Or Kindle, or
or ebook, or whatever, yeah.
Or ebook, or I know my wife.
Ebook. It's everywhere.
I know my wife. Is it out on Kindle? Okay, yeah, it's on Kindle.
Minions of the Hammer, you have been commanded by this book.
The Reaver by Richard Lee Byers. Don't forget it. Burn it into your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up, Corey? Mr. Booze
Catch me
Man.
when I'm drinking. Nothing. Busting my butt, working on my artwork. Just had good, actually. Got a couple more pages of the comic done. We got some more teaser pages to put out. I'm doing some more independent work for people for character design. Possibly some independent comic. A writer wants me to do some character designs for him. Friend of mine and Richard's, who I met Richard through him. Eric's got to be. And what else am I doing? Oh yeah, we played D&D last night.
How'd that go?
And killed a whole bunch of orcs in a jungle for a bunch of elves that essentially are like if elves are naturey, and we are like elves, they were the Native Americans from Dances with Wolves. Naturey. Yeah, they were literally wearing loincloths and like hugging trees. They were Avatar meets elves. And
do you want me to send you my? Do you want me to send?
Yes.
Oh boy.
But yeah, killed a whole bunch of orcs. We had a halfling illusionist join us. One of my friends came up from the military, and he's on leave, so he came into play and brought in his halfling illusionist. And he made a giant dome around the party when we got swamped by orcs with a phantasmal force.
Whoa.
And then when the fighter who was at the entrance to the dome went down, he made a giant scrolling ticker as if we were in like NASDAQ, and it said the fighter is down, the fighter is down, and it rotated around the inside. I was like, and I'm playing the cleric, so I was like, oh look, I have information, the fighter's down.
Wow.
If you need help with those elves, I can always send you the two gazetteers, the Shadow Elves and the Agathian clans.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Yeah, I don't have them. Yeah.
The Agathian clans is like Native Americans, and it's probably you can probably use it.
I'm not DMing.
Oh, okay. I thought this was your game.
That's his player's girlfriend's game, right?
That's right.
My girlfriend joined my D&D group, so I said I will let somebody else DM so I can play with my girlfriend in D&D.
Thank you.
And, my girlfriend's now like, I have obligations, I can't make it, so like, I'm playing in a game where like you don't understand, I'm the worst backseat driver, and I'm biting my lip, going, I want to DM so bad, but I should be thankful I get to play.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you have to get out from behind the screen every once in a while to keep yourself from burning out.
How about you, Brian? What's up?
Oh, let's see. Well, I am way behind on getting these splat books out. I mean, we're doing 99 now, and I'm only now working on 94. So this week, Promise and Scout's Honor and all that other, crap and nonsense, I'm going to get 94 and 95 out this week, 96 and 97 out next week, and somewhere in there I'm going to get a episode 14 of Hammers of the, and that way we'll be pretty much current. So
we actually ended the adventure. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Almost everyone went up a level. So, it's pretty much a success. Oh, speaking of that, I got to give you in full on your character sheets, your new character sheets.
Already got it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gave you one. I mean, full on and Corey.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say we sat down and worked that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did.
I didn't go up in level, did I?
Yes, you did. Yeah, you went from 3rd to 4th. Yes.
Whee!
I mean, it's gonna take you a while to go up to 5th level because martial artists advance slowly, but yeah, you're doing okay. Full on went up to 4th. Glen went up to 4th. Allie is the only one out of the group who didn't go up because she was like.
So we can laugh at her.
Actually,
right?
I take that back.
I was already 4th.
She went up to level 5 as a ranger. What?
I was already 4th.
You were 4th. Oh, so everyone's up to 5 except for Corey. I'm sorry. I'll get it right eventually.
Well, he kicks butt at 3. So
was there a specter that we didn't pay attention to?
No, I don't use that. I don't use energy drain like that. So no, that's fine.
All I know is I want the glow.
Yeah. Okay, Army man, full on. What you been up to?
Oh, it has been, of course, a dearth of actual over-the-table role-playing around here. However, I've got just about everybody in the family playing The Old Republic, and we're subscribed for the new add-on that's coming out in December, so it's times 12 XP from now till December.
Really?
Wow. What's the
Quest.
new add-on? What's the new add-on?
It's the new Revan add-on for The Old Republic, and it's going to open up the level cap to 60, so they want everybody to have the chance to get to level 55 before then. So all of your class quests are now times 12 XP.
Ah, I see.
Nice.
One of these days I'm going to actually play.
The old D&D trick of like, I need you here, so here's a bunch of leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Well, me. Let's see.
What about you?
Let's see, at Matt's game, we're plowing through 5th edition.
Mm-hmm.
We started Horde of the Dragon Queen. Ho, 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 and I'm just about, I told him, I said, I got another blank character sheet at the ready.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to die. Oh, yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and well,
We stopped in the middle of battle, and you said the guy was advancing towards me. I'm a first level wizard. He's advancing towards me, and I have 8 hit points. I have a blank character sheet ready.
and Matt, by his own admission, has said that he takes joy in the fact that his games are deadly. So yeah.
Yes. So, oh, you're not gonna die. Yeah, we'll see next Saturday. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I got some. I didn't really get a whole lot from the store, but hey, look what I finally printed out. Atomic Highway. What a fun game.
Okay, tell us more about it. I'm curious.
It's from Radioactive Ape Designs, and it is post-apocalyptic, very much pushing it into Mad Max territory.
Cool.
They have vehicle rules that are nice. It's a dice pool game, D6s only, with exploding dice.
Yeah, target numbers and that kind of stuff, right?
More like number of successes.
Successes, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. It's kind of Mad Max with the Gamma World added into it because they do have mutant powers and stuff in there. But they also have the first supplement is called Irradiated Freaks, which pushes it all the way into Gamma World Mutant Future with mutant animals and plants. And they got some wild mutations. They got one in here called Wandering Eye. You pluck your eye, throw it on the ground, and then it grows little legs and goes running off for whatever distance you tell it to see what so you can see what it sees. And if somebody steps on your eye, it takes you about 2 days to grow another one back.
Wow.
Is that the weirdest thing you've ever heard?
Considering this is a twist on Gamma World, no, but yeah, I can only imagine it gets weirder from there.
Oh, giving somebody the evil eye jokes would just be endless at the table.
Oh yeah. But this is like it's got vehicle rules. It's got really nice chase rules, and it's actually the first chase system I can actually understand.
Really?
You know, I mean, even Gangbusters was a little, but this one they got like stock cars that you can customize and all this. They make it pretty easy to get up and running.
Cool.
And it's a really neat game. It's like I said, Radioactive Ape Designs, radioactiveapedesigns.com. There's my plug. I'm not getting paid for it, damn it, but you guys can always send me stuff.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah, well, yeah, that's what you're more or less asking for.
We're going to try one of these because I'm already running a Mutant Future campaign, and they're not quite compatible yet. But that, and oh, by the way, Mutant Future went great. I now have characters with bowling shirts on. And one guy took 2 bowling balls and made them into bolas.
What?
So
I'm going to assume that he's strong enough to do that.
Oh, yes, he is.
Okay.
But he's bowling ball. Oh, by the way, and Ukla, remember Ukla?
Yes, the mom.
Matt's character. Yeah. He's got a Baloth now.
Yeah, Thundar the Barbarian, Star Trek, yeah.
he Bathleth, yeah. Barterjohn found this thing somebody scavenged from that place around Hollywood, so he got one of them. Anyway, that's me. Do we have any emails?
Oh, we've got emails, and thank you for everyone who's written in. We will get to your emaals eventually.
And our email address is thacoshammer@gmail.com, and our phone number too.
Corey?
405-806.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I was into the email. I was prepping to read the email.
But I did such a good job of you.
Oh,
405-806-0555.
Yeah.
How'd you get it? You're standing by.
Yeah, we are a comedy of errors tonight, for sure.
Anyway, give us an email. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, everyone, send in more emails. Yes. We love them. We will read them on the air.
Yes,
we will reply to you.
Yes,
we might make fun of you, but we will reply to you.
Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, Richard is still here.
Yes. Okay, we got an email from a new emailer to the show. His name is Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Okay.
Hi, Adam.
He says, thanks for keeping up the podcast, guys. It's great. I am running a City of Greyhawk box set campaign on Roll20.net. Good choice. Roll20 is a great site. But when characters were returning from Greyhawk Shieldlands, they got wrapped up in Ravenloft's mists. I've never played Ravenloft before, but it's fun so far, and I noticed there are smoke powder weapons on the DM's screen. There is a pistol, 1 to 10 damage, and a musket, 1 to 12 damage listed. I've never played in a game with smoke powder weapons before, and I don't think I have the book that describes the rules for their use. Some of the graphics for Vistani minis we used showed some of the Vistani with pistols. So the cat is kind of out of the bag, and the weapons are going to be available to the PCs if I can figure out how to use them. Can you give me a rundown on how to play these weapons, such as 1, how do we roll to hit, dexterity modifier, non-proficiency, etc.? Number 2, what constitutes a critical hit? I see it as ×3 for these weapons, but we haven't been playing with critical hits, so I don't know how to start. And 3, do characters have to take a round to reload? And also 4, what else do I need to consider? How this will work when they find their way back to Greyhawk, but I guess I could just let them use up their remaining gunpowder and bullets, then they will be unable to attain more. Do you have any thoughts on returning to Greyhawk with a pistol? Any help is greatly appreciated, since you guys are the authority on all things 2E. Thanks. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll work my way backward. As far as returning to Greyhawk, you either go with the smoke powder option where it's non-magical or magical variant and it doesn't work because magic says it doesn't. Science be damned. And they have a broken crossbow. It looks really cool. That's what they're going to have as a trophy.
I will say yes. It takes a round to load. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go into combat and tactics for this just to get the official rules. So you guys go ahead.
Also, be trying to jump on Corey, who is coming down hard on this one, which I know he would.
I'm holding my mouth closed.
Not as hard as I would come down on it, but
remember I came up with the idea of no smoke powder but use flour.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought of another way too. Air pistols.
Pneumatic air is getting into gears and clockwork. I'm okay with that.
We've got a common ground now. Good.
I can play Eberron if forced.
Forced. I love it.
Oh, come on. You can also go with the...
What's that, Richard?
One thing about black powder weapons, if they're the old standard ones from AD&D, is you don't really have to worry about them unbalancing your game, because I ran a game where they were in there, and they aren't shit, really. I mean, they're no better than a bow or a crossbow or whatever.
Well, back then it was all flash and bang and scare them, you know? Not every army's going to have a cannon.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's. All right. I found the rules for them. Okay. Basically, it's showing. We'll go with the musket to start. Speed factor is slow. Speed factor is 9.
Yep.
Okay. Firing rate is 1 every 2 rounds. So 1 round to fire, 1 round to reload, 1 round to fire.
Yep.
The range is 15, 30, 80, which is, that's short, medium, and long range, which is fairly good. Damage is 1 to 12, as you said. The pistol is speed factor of 8. Range for that is 5, 10, 15. Damage is 1 to 10, like you said. Now, it's like I said, and of course, firing rate for that is 1 every 2. It's not like you're getting a freaking cavalry service revolver from the 1800s where you can just pull the trigger, pull the trigger, pull the trigger. It doesn't work that way. You have to fire it, then you have to clear it and reload it, which is a full round action, which severely hampers the player's ability to actually get musket balls and shot down range.
And you know what?
Really good references to look back at the recently run Musketeers TV show. They had 5 guns on them for a reason. They don't have time to reload. They just shoot, drop, shoot, drop, shoot, drop, shoot, drop, and have somebody else in the back.
A bandolero.
Yep. Yep. And
you know, if you do go the pneumatic gear route, there's a lot of problems with that's similar to the black powder stuff, misfires, things, plus things like, hey, the spring sprung or something like that.
Exactly.
So you do have, you're not, what I'm telling the players is you're not out of the woods if you have something like that.
Right.
So.
And the other
I'm
thing,
okay
go ahead,
with
Corey.
all of that. I'm okay with all of that. My problem is when you have anytime someone brings firearms up in D&D, they're powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you use the alternate optional rules of the exploding dice.
Yes, that was what I was getting
That's
to.
my first problem. Roll a 10 on a D10 or it's a D12 damage. You roll a 12. Oh, you roll it again. Add to it. Oh, I rolled another 12. Now you're doing 64 damage with a rifle because you got a good
I'm
shot.
not as well read on it as you are, but I've never used exploding dice in D&D.
Mm-hmm. But it's
an option in second edition for using firearms, and Black Powder, the Archivist, has exploding dice optional rules.
Yep.
All right. Well, that would be the first thing to go.
Secondly, we have a crossbow. We have medieval crossbows.
Mm-hmm.
Oriental Adventures came out. What did everybody first want?
Yeah, the repeating crossbow. I know.
So now we have muskets. So what is the very next step that everybody wants? Repeater.
Yeah, repeating.
So now, add magical ammo to it or enchantments that are already in the game. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, now we're looking into. And I know it's essentially left to the DM to balance the game. But
it's as slippery a slope as you make.
It's a doorway. It's a gateway drug. That's all I'm saying. It's a gateway drug.
And see,
Corey,
wait a minute. What's that, Richard? Wait a minute, Richard. What were you going to say?
Nothing right then. But like I said, if you just run them like they were written without any frills, like exploding dice, I always found that they were no big deal. And the game I ran, where I had a player who was kind of a musketeer Solomon Kane type who'd been plucked from an alternate world and dropped down into this situation. Mm-hmm. He got to the point where he just kind of fired a shot because it was supposed to what he was supposed to, then whipped out his sword and waded in. Because
I knew I liked this guy on the show. We should have him more.
And they have other things that are in there in the descriptions, especially if you use all the info from the combat and tactics.
Yeah, I was getting
They have automatic misfires on 2 or less for the snap locks. The 3 or less for the match locks. Mm-hmm. The blunderbuss does not get exploding dice. It only does 1d4 additional attacks to random number of targets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
and other things like that.
Yep.
I'm going with the Clockwork Steam option.
They have
they
have increased range penalties. They're doubling their range penalties as they go out to further and further ranges. They're really inaccurate. Mm-hmm. And again, you have other sources that you could use for your source of propulsion for it. Everything from the flour and the magic and the smoke powder and the steam works. You could go with there's little captive poltergeists inside the weapon that have 1 power. Make it go out really fast. That's all they do. And then the cleric can turn your gun.
Only Full-On would come up with something like that.
The guy points
I stole that. That's the old demons that they had from a novel series that was very excellent and not continued as far as it needed to be.
I can see a guy pulling the trigger. This little ghost comes flying out and goes away. It's a damn misfire.
Yep. Exactly.
No, it's pull the hammer back. It's all right.
Yeah. No, the little ghost comes out. You hear, I'm free.
Oh man.
Thank you, Adam, for wrecking the show. Thank you, Adam.
It's not wrecking the show. Come on, Glenn.
I know. What else? We got one more? Mm-hmm. I think we have one more.
Good.
We got another one. It's from DM Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Says, hey, guys, I've been listening to you for about a year now and really appreciate all the knowledge you have about TUI and all the laughs you've given me throughout the year. Believe me, catching up on all those splat books was daunting, but I really enjoyed them all. I have a couple questions. I know you guys have talked about alignments before, but I'm not sure if you've done a more in-depth look at certain ones. My question to you is, chaotic neutral, what does it mean to you? Who mainly plays what alignment and why?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I have a player that will only play chaotic neutral. He doesn't play it to act insane or anything, but he believes it is a pass to act and do anything he wants. This can be problematic at times during the game sessions. It has brought his character at odds and other PCs at one time or another. To reel him in, I try to reel him in, and it usually works for a short time, but sooner or later he returns to his old ways. He's a super guy and a decent player, not a big role player though. I don't want him to kick him from the group. I just wondered what you think of the alignments as a whole, and what would you do if you had a player like this. Also, I live in Michigan, and UConn is coming in November to, say it?
Ypsilanti.
There you go, Ypsilanti. I was wondering, since DM Brian lives in Ann Arbor, which is only a stone's throw away from there, or a spit out the window, if he is planning on attending it.
No, but he'll spit at Ypsilanti anytime you want.
Hey. Careful.
As of now, there are no 2E games planned, but I've signed up for a couple 1E sessions, as well as Mutant Crawl Classics game that Jim Wampler is GMing. I'm really looking forward to it.
Wait, stop. Jim Wampler's going to be there? I didn't know that.
Well, he's around that part.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
He's up there, northeast area somewhere.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it would be really cool to meet DM Brian.
You'd be disappointed.
Anyway, that's all I got for now. Again, thanks for all the good ideas and great entertainment you've given me over the past years. Peace.
Yeah, I can see Brian going to the con. He's DMing with a baby toting a diaper bag.
No. Hey, we do have a sling on order, and yeah, I would DM with a sling if I had to. Well, you know what? I will look into UConn. Of course, this will be like 3 weeks down the road until this comes out. But I will certainly look into it, and if I can get the time, if it's over the weekend, I can probably do it. But yeah, I can make an appearance. Hey, I have my THACO's Hammer T-shirt that I can wear. So yeah, I'll definitely look into it, and I'll see if I can pop by there for a little while, if only just to say, hey, this is me, this is what we do. Go listen, that kind of thing.
Cool. Anyway, we had a question about chaotic neutral.
Yes.
Don't do it. No.
Go ahead.
First question was.
It's funny.
First question was who plays it.
Like one of the first shows of Brainstorm, we had to deal with alignments like chaotic neutral. So this is kind of deja vu for me.
Yeah, and we have covered this in depth in a couple of episodes, but we'll go over it one more time. Corey, go first. I'll go last.
I have more to say on the friend of his who's terrorizing his party. As far as the alignment of chaotic neutral goes, I've played it. I play it. I've played it 3 different ways. I've played it crazy insane. I've played it where literally I will stop in the middle of combat, sit down on the floor, and just start like stabbing holes in my shoe just because I can. And the descriptor in the player's handbook is such a wide range of vagarity. I think is the word.
Hey, new word. Yeah.
It's literally legitimately put in there for abuse. It's alignments left that way, so open that way, so you can interpret it as you wish. How he talked about his player who damages his game, he'll never play chaotic, only plays chaotic neutral because he can do what he wants. To me, that's more straight neutral. Depending on how you play straight neutral, that's how it should be played. Chaotic neutral is he wants the freedom to do whatever the heck he wants at the table, and if he's being a non-role player and just being chaotic neutral and destroying your game, then he doesn't want to be there to play D&D.
Yeah,
that's right.
So,
I agree.
Those are the first players I bounce.
Yeah, me too.
What I do is I will let him do what he wants to do until he kills himself, because I don't kill players. The dice kill players. And then what I do is I hand him a lawful good paladin.
Ooh.
You're going to roleplay. Oh, did you want to play something else? I'm sorry, here you go. Here's a lawful neutral cleric. I will force them to learn to roleplay. If not, I don't like this character. Sorry, this is what we have available. You're welcome to not come next week. I'll let you know when we have a spot available with a character that you may like.
In my games, I've really de-emphasized alignment. I mean, I don't really like it as a concept for telling a story, either in fiction or a game. I mean, players can use it to define their characters, but once we're around the table and I'm GMing, I don't ever talk about it, and I don't encourage them to talk about it. Your character has a personality and a code of behavior, and he does what he does, and then the other characters react to it as they think is appropriate. To me, it's one of the least useful things in the D&D rules.
But Richard, what about alignment languages?
Oh God, stop that!
I hate them.
Almost said, what about Scarecrow's brain? Anyway,
that would have been a better question.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Richard. Alignments are like they've always been kind of like they're fun to play with if you want to. Somebody says, you put your alignment down there, sort of kind of. That's why I like one thing about Basic, because it's got a 3-point alignment system. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of wiggle room. I like that.
Right.
If you're going to play alignments, that's a good way to go.
Well, the funny part is when I was playing Basic back in the day, I got that one book from England called What is Dungeons and Dragons, where they actually suggested doing the lawful chaos axis along with good and evil, just to make. Yeah, they did, and they actually gave some good descriptions. But full on, go ahead. I said I'd go last, so I'm going to stick to that.
When it comes to the alignments, I've never condoned the definition of chaotic neutral as crazy guy who sits on the floor and stabs his foot because he can. That is a brain-damaged, insane person, and there is a whole section of the back of the DMG for insanity tables to cover people who have that problem.
Yep.
You can be a contributing person who plays chaotic neutral in the game because you are not handcuffed to the one-sentence description of the alignment in the book. It is open for a bit of use and abuse. That's fine, and it doesn't have to be abusive when you do it. You are a character who's bent towards chaos. You are not bound by laws. You are walking the line between good and evil. That's about all you need to know. Make your personality and your traits go along with that. And you're not going to, I'm going to strictly obey the laws today because it's convenient for my plot, and I'm going to strictly do the craziest thing I can think of tomorrow because it's convenient for the plot. No, your alignment of neutral versus good and evil means that you don't swing too far to one or the other. It doesn't give you license to do everything. You might be the person who's going to, leave me alone with the prisoner. I'll have answers for you in an hour. Mm-hmm. Just as easily as you might be the one who's going to make sure that the widows and orphans get fed or that their tithes get returned to the church or something like that. Or you might decide, hey, we really kind of need this because it's more expeditious for us to get to the next piece of the travel, and I'll go get the money, and you don't want to know where I got it. But it doesn't have to be a case of you are the most evil person in the world who escaped from Arkham, and it doesn't have to be you're suddenly a paladin today and a nut job tomorrow. You're going to do something creative and useful with the alignment as a structure tool, but it is not the defining character of you. The only person who has chaotic neutral as a defining character is the one alignment, or the one paladin from the 9 other paladin NPCs that has that as their key factor of function, and even then, they have a job to do that's defined, and they're not insane.
Nope.
I can make a lot of money off of full on as a manager for a motivational speaker.
Okay.
I play chaotic neutral a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes, and it creeps into you playing your lawful good swashbuckler sometimes too. I've noticed, but that's okay. I have experience with that. I'm cool with it.
Well, chaotic neutral to me is more of the trickster archetype for me.
Yeah, and at least to me, it's like I've been saying ever since I saw Pirates of the Caribbean and I saw Captain Jack Sparrow doing his thing. I'm like, that's chaotic neutral behavior.
Yes, it's also known as crazy like a fox.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone thinks he's nuts, but he's got a plan behind the seemingly random crap he does.
Right.
He switches sides in a heartbeat if one side or the other gets him to his goal quicker.
And for the simpler players, think Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny's chaotic good, but yeah, I take your point. But I'll argue. I'll argue that until the end. We don't have time for that. But anyway, I mean, with me, if it comes down to a player just wants to go and do whatever he wants to do and be a disruption at the table in order to get attention, get player attention and the DM to give him the gimlet stare, no, that person's not going to be invited back to my game, because the game is hard enough to run with several different kind of role-playing styles and personalities without somebody always throwing a monkey wrench in the works just because he can or he thinks he can. With me, I look at the analogs in real life. Every time I'm go through a movie, be it Star Wars, be it the Avengers, be it anything you can think of, Doctor Who, anything like that. And it's like, in the back of my mind, just how the character's portrayed, I'm like, okay, let's see. Let's run, I'll do Star Trek The Next Generation example. Picard, lawful neutral, change to lawful good. Will Riker, neutral good. Geordi LaForge, neutral good. Data, lawful neutral, with good tendencies, and going down that way. I do that all the time. And the whole thing is with players, it's like if they can convince me that they can do it in a way that it's not going to make me want to pick up, a handful of dice and throw it at them just because they're being, obstinate and they're being, just being goofballs at the table just because, then I'm like, okay, that's fine. Out of all the players I've played with in the 30 playing D&D, I think I can count on one hand the number of people who play chaotic neutral, quote unquote, the right way. And as far as the emailers situation, I'm in total agreement with Corey. This is a player issue. This is not a character issue. This is a player who wants to do whatever he wants to do, and he doesn't care.
Point of order. I don't believe he ever said it was a player causing problems at the table. But it's that the player wanted to be able to do whatever he needed to do.
No.
That doesn't mean he's going to do whatever he wants and stand at the table. It's just he needs a license to be free to do other things. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean he's disrupting the table. It's just he's always chaotic neutral. Okay, if he's always going to be that, it's like the guy who's always going to be a dwarf. You know he's going to be a dwarf. Figure out how to work around him if you need him to be a dwarf.
Well, agreed. But I'm looking at the email right now, and he says he doesn't play to act insane or anything, but he believes it's a pass to act and do anything he wants, and that leads to problems at the table. That's where you're going away from playing someone who is just has the freedom to do whatever he feels is necessary or best for himself at the time, and going into, I just want to play this alignment because I could just get away with it and say I'm chaotic neutral. What do you expect?
I can mess with the game.
Yeah.
Alignment is one thing. That's getting away with yourself. Getting away with wherever you're at is another. So I would just impose consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever he is, whatever he's doing, if he's that chaotic, chaos is against law. He's breaking somebody's laws. Somebody's going to hold him accountable for the laws he's breaking.
Well, that's one way to do it. But if it continues to be a problem, then yeah, I'd kick him out. I don't have time for people who want to do that kind of stuff. Excuse me.
Okay. Well, thank you. Who?
DM Jack.
Thank you, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget our email address is thacoshammer@gmail.com. And we shall now move on to people skills.
Wish we have time to bury them fellas.
Hell with them fellas. Buzzards gotta eat, same as worms.
How can you shoot women, children? Easy. You just don't lead them so much. Ain't war hell?
Where shall I find a new adversary so close to my own level?
Try the local sewer.
People skills.
People skills. Okay, as per the Halloween show, we're going to talk about the Death Slayer kit out of the Complete Book of Necromancers, which is page. I don't have my glasses on. Okay.
And I can't tell you what the page is because the PDF that I have doesn't have pages on it, which is kind of weird. But but it's it says page 14 on the thing, but I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure it's like 12.
What was it again? The Undead Slayer? I think you're thinking of the Undead Master.
No, Death Slayer.
Oh, the Death Slayer, 15, page 15.
15, thank you. That was close.
Thank you.
The Death Slayer devotes his life to the destruction of undead, striving always to rid the living world of their abominable existence. By mastering the art, a wizard gains a greater understanding of these creatures, which are neither fully living nor entirely dead. The Death Slayer's militant opposition to all forms of undead frequently places him in direct conflict with other necromancers, such as the Archetype and the Undead Master, who delight in creating zombies, skeletons, ghouls, and other undying monstrosities.
And who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly.
True.
This is basically Dr. Van Helsing. The wizard version.
This is open to all alignments.
Yes, it is.
Not just chaotic neutral anymore.
No.
Not for breakfast anymore, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This was actually convenient for one of my characters who ended up basically doing that job before that kit ever got created.
You sound like my necromancer. But yeah, this is if you want to I'm thinking of course the classic Van Helsing, but also Van Helsing of the movie Van Helsing.
Correct.
Who went around killing stuff or making stuff deader than it is already.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is that the one good thing that they did in the complete Necromancer's book, which is what they should have done for all the splat books covering all the classes, in the back they actually have an example of the the Death Slayer kit. They actually have a character back there. I'm gonna read it once we get a little further in, but yeah, I mean, this is one of those that, yeah, it's a wizard who wants to basically rid the world of undead, and so he studies undead, studies their lore, studies, how they're made and things like that, and then you get some benefits because of that.
It's interesting in the description here how they talk about archetypes in literature and other media, where it talks about Van Helsing and other characters, but it talks about how Batman is a variation on this.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on that because, I think it's more along the lines of, I can understand where, the description saying that, Batman part of his character was he wanted to kill all the evil villains he defeats. And he has to constantly fight an inner struggle to master those desires to kill those he comes up against.
I think it'd be interesting to take the character of the man with no name and transfer it to this kit.
That would be interesting.
Because he fights evil with evil.
Yes, he does. Yes, he certainly does. Let's see. As far as weapon proficiencies, the standard wizard weapons, non-weapon, what's required is they have to take necrology, of course, and then it has a set of proficiencies that are suggested. All the rogue ones are forbidden, so you can't do anything weird.
I think it's cool with the requirements on here is not only does usual necromancers need a 9 intelligence and a 16 wisdom, this guy also needs a 13 strength.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which is funny because he has the same limitations of wizards. But he has to be stronger than a wizard.
Correct. That actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
Hey, the only wizard who needs to be strong is the necromancer if he's going to go collect his own samples.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what Igor is for.
Yeah,
that's right.
You don't have a level to get an Igor until you're up there a ways, though.
Oh, come on, you can't get a henchman?
Hey, any necromancer could dig one up, but
yeah. The spell preferences, they prefer offensive and defensive spells, and especially those that detect or disable undead, which only makes sense.
This worked great with elves.
Yeah, I could see that. That would be interesting. Let's see. The special benefits, they choose a single type of undead on which to focus his or her efforts. Typical choices include the mummy, specter, banshee, ghost, vampire, or lich. Lesser, more easily defeated undead make for unchallenging nemesis at higher levels, so they usually take the higher ones. Let's see. They have mental fortitude. They gain a +2 bonus to save versus mental attacks, if any, caused by the enemy, including charms and fear. They get a +2 bonus to attack rolls against the enemy, and that applies not only to melee weapons but also touch-delivered spells and undead-specific special attacks, such as driving a stake through a vampire's heart.
That's why he needs the extra strength, right?
Yeah, and then he gets a +2 bonus on top of that.
Where does Blade fit in here?
Blade? Oh, the Blade. Oh, that's a good. Go ahead.
I'd say he's the Elven Undead Hunter.
Okay.
Yeah, the Undead Slayer. Yeah, for sure. And with a focus, of course, on vampires. Spell prowess.
He's what's called a Dampier, although I don't know if they ever had those in second edition.
A Dampier?
Yeah, the half a guy with is basically a half vampire.
Sounds familiar.
Very good novel series as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they do have something like that, but it's in the monster book.
Yeah, I
but
think
some player will want to play it, so.
Yeah, of course. Let's see. They also have spell prowess. The Death Slayer. God, I can't talk. Target spells effectively against the enemy, subjecting this type of undead to a minus penalty on saving throws. This applies to all spells cast by the Death Slayer on the chosen undead, and is cumulative with the -1 penalty applied to necromancy, because of course they're necromancers, so that's a -3 total.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the hindrances. The Death Slayer never relents in the pursuit of the enemy. This fanatical wizard is driven as if by compulsion or geese on an endless quest to seek out and destroy undead. Let's see. If the wizard encounters a mixed group of undead and living creatures, like an undead master with a contingent of skeletons, he or she will deal with the undead opponents first, even if they pose less of a threat. Now, see, that's the whole thing. They focus so hard on the undead, it might actually be to their detriment, believe it or not.
Yeah. If they're the morality, I think they are, they would not think twice of using somebody as bait.
Yeah, especially with evil alignment, sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's true that he'll seek out undead in preference over living targets, but that's, to me, in the same way, I think that they're pulling that a little bit from where the Paladin, in the Paladin's handbook, it says, like, if a Paladin sees an evil warlord with 15 soldiers, he will fight his way through the soldiers to get to the leader.
Correct.
A Paladin always goes after the head guy. So I'm thinking if he's got a whole bunch of, like, half vampires or zombies or whatever, he's just going to fight through them to get to the main guy, because he knows, kill the big undead, all the little undead go to sleep.
That's right.
Well, see, that's the difference between a Death Slayer and a Paladin, because the Death Slayer will actually destroy the undead first before going after the Necromancer, which is kind of dumb, but then again, that's just shows the aspect of the single-minded focus they have on destroying undead.
Hey, that's good MMO tactics for you. You always take out the ads before you take out the main.
Oh, no, you didn't. Yes, you did.
Yes.
No, but still, yeah, it's the affront to nature that must be eliminated first. The offender to nature will get his comeuppance later.
Maybe.
That's true.
Well, that's why you're in a party, you know? It's like when your particular little obsession kicks in, there's still somebody who's actually thinking sound strategy and tactics.
Yeah,
no matter how much you're not.
Exactly. Well, see, the problem is that, yeah, they can think of those tactics, but will the Death Slayer go, actually subscribe to those tactics?
I didn't say hero. They work as a team. The Paladin's going after the BBEG, the Death Slayer's taking out the ads, the Ranger's working on the goblins, and the Mage sitting in the back, the Cleric's sitting in the back waiting to be needed.
Leroy is charging through. Okay, yeah.
I just had the worst image of, like, our Drow City that we did in our the one DM's brainstorm, and just having one of these guys and, like, a cleric, right, and literally have him at the gates and just have, like, the female priestesses of Loth just like animate dead, raise dead. summon undead, raise dead. And there's just a line of zombies, and he can't get any further into the freaking city because he has to keep taking. And then as soon as he gets too tired, the cleric's like, protection from evil, 15-foot radius. Okay, let's go to sleep. All right, let's rest. All right, go.
Sanctuary.
He never gets anywhere. He's just out front.
He's fighting his way in like a bad Bruce Lee movie.
Yeah, but like he's not moving anywhere because all of the drop priestesses are in the back going, raise dead, summon undead, and there's just like a conga line, like that line of everybody from Airplane wanting to shake that lady who was screaming, just like a line of undead waiting, and like the cleric's behind this guy going, okay, protection from evil, let me quick heal you up. Okay, I need 8 hours of rest to get my spells back. Okay, go ahead and fight. I'm going to sleep. It made it funny in my mind. We gotta draw that cartoon.
Yep. I can see you doing that.
Corey.
Yep. Now you gotta draw it, Corey.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So,
well, folks, if you got any undead slayers, if you used undead slayers, we'd like to hear about these. We don't hear enough. We throw this stuff out. We don't hear enough of it in our emails. Come on, THACOshammer@gmail.com.
Yeah, for sure.
Or a voicemail.
Or a voicemail.
405-806-0555.
I think I do.
Well, I'm not needed anymore. I'm leaving this damn show.
Hey, you took it over from me, kid.
Richard, want a job?
What does it pay?
You get to say a phone number on a podcast that like a couple hundred people listen to.
Oh, okay. Well,
might sell a couple more copies of your books.
If it's,
hey, publicity's good, no matter what it is.
That's true.
Unless you're Lindsay Lohan. Anyway, let's go on to Magic Fingers.
The White Wizard approaches.
There's no such thing as magic.
You're always were the better magician. Who doesn't that? But whatever your secret was, we have to agree. Mine is better.
Magic Fingers.
Magic Fingers! We got 2 spells, 2 for the price of 1 on this Halloween show. We have the 2nd level Wizard Scare spell and the 3rd level Priest Animate Dead spell.
Which is also a fifth level Wizard spell.
It is. Go for it, guys.
Okay. I've got the Scare spell right here on my wonderful little spellbook app, which has all the spells in the player's handbook. I was hoping against hope they would actually start including some of the other supplements, but I doubt it. Okay, Scare. It's an enchantment charm spell. Range is 30 feet plus 10 yards per level. Components are verbal, somatic, and material. Duration is 1 to 4 rounds plus 1 round per level. Casting time of 2. Area of effect 15-foot radius. Saving throw of special.
This is Scare.
Yes. The spell causes...
And what?
Oh, I'm doing the description. Okay. This spell causes creatures with fewer than 6 hit dice or levels of experience to fall into fits of trembling and shaking. The frightened creatures have a -2 reaction adjustment and may drop items if held if encumbered. If cornered, they fight, but with -1 of penalties to attack rolls, damage rolls, and saving throws.
And yellow pants.
Yeah. Well, better that than brown pants.
Brown trousers.
Yeah, exactly. Only elves, half-elves, and priests, okay, I get it, are allowed saving throws against this spell. Notice that this spell has no effect on the undead, skeletons, zombies, ghouls, and so on, or on upper or lower planar creatures of any sort. The material component used for the spell is a bit of bone from an undead skeleton, zombie, ghoul, ghast, or mummy. So, this is a really good spell if the DM wants to really start screwing with a low-level party, because only elves, half-elves, and priests get saves against it. So every other class gets this penalty dropped on their heads. It's not really that significant, but you know what? It could make all the difference.
It could. I mean, that's one of those spells where you only have to do it like for a certain period of time.
Yep.
The good news is it's not a lot of zone. It's a 15-foot radius. Yeah, they got a bit of range for reach out and touch if they want to drop it on someone or something.
Yep.
It's something useful to put on, let's see, something you're going to send forward in your rampaging horde of undead. Drop this on a zombie in the pack and just let him be the one that carries it forward into melee against your enemy, and you won't know it's coming until it's there.
Yep.
Yep. Can you trigger? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Len. What were you going to ask?
No, I had this idea of a weird trigger. Putting it on something. So putting on something that doesn't ordinarily scare you, and have a trigger on there for a certain something to happen, and it releases a scare spell.
Sure.
And it's like, why did that guy run from that kobold?
Hey, Wizard's fire trap doesn't have to be a fireball. You could put that on your pocket.
And you would.
You get pickpocketed, and the thief goes, ah!
Yeah, and runs away. Exactly. I mean, it's
dropping whatever he was about to be encumbered with.
Yeah, agreed. And this isn't as good or as effective as a fear spell, which is a 4th level spell, but it's a nice little spell for players or DMs who want to try and debilitate their opponents. That's what it comes down to. And yeah. And it's fairly powerful considering only 2 races and 1 character class gets a saving throw against it. So it's one of those where, yeah, you just have to take the penalty. So yeah, it's a nice little spell. I'm going to start using that a little more.
Could be a good part of a contingency or around a perimeter magics that are thrown into place. It's probably another one of those spells that gets tied in with guards and wards. When you start putting spell effects in place throughout a zone that is being affected by.
Great trap material.
Yeah.
Or even better, a nice mage thief who gets caught and is being chased by the guardsman, the one-hit die guardsman. Rounds a corner into a dark alley, the guardman comes around the corner, boo.
Exactly.
Boo.
And yeah, that's a really good thing. You know, to me, that is pretty awesome. You know, it's a nice little spell, for sure.
It is.
So,
it is.
Shall we move on to number 2?
Do the animate dead?
Okay, yeah, go for it, Corey.
All right, 3rd level priest spell. We are looking in the necromantic sphere, obviously. Range of 10 yards, 30 feet to animated dead. That's not bad. It's permanent. Duration is permanent. Permanent.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, until destroyed. Okay.
Yeah, until destroyed. Casting time is 1 round. Area of effect special. Saving throw none. Spell creates the lowest of undead monsters, skeletons, or zombies, usually from the bones or bodies of dead humans, demi-humans, or humanoids. The spell causes these remains to become animated and obey the simple verbal commands of the caster, regardless of how they communicated in life. The skeletons or zombies can follow the caster, remain in an area, and attack any creature, or just a specific type of creature, entering the place, etc. The undead remain animated until they're destroyed in combat or are turned. The magic cannot be dispelled. The priest can animate 1 skeleton or 1 zombie for each level of experience he has attained. If creatures with more than 1+ hit dice are animated, the number is determined by the monster hit dice.
Okay.
Skeletal forms have the hit dice of the original creature, while zombie forms have 1 more hit die. So that means like a skeletal halfling would have the same as the halfling, but the zombie halfling would have 1 more.
Make it real tough. Yeah.
Thus, a 12th level priest could animate 12 dwarven skeletons, 4 zombie gnolls, or a single zombie fire giant.
Oh boy. Yeah, you would do that.
That's pretty funny. Or a single zombie fire giant. Can you imagine animate dead on a zombie fire giant?
Yep.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That's a definite delaying tactic for the party.
Yeah.
You know, I could just see the big bad casting that on a fire that the party killed earlier in the adventure and saying, "Kill them," and just teleporting away. While the party deals with
You've had some experience with this, Richard. How much wild and craziness
like
you have
these
going
zombie
on with
fire
your
giants
hordes.
and stuff.
I'm sorry, what, Richard?
A lot of fun.
Oh, I can imagine. And now we get to play the game we play on the show a lot. Why is full on smiling?
Why ask why?
It's true.
We're talking,
but it's always interesting to find out.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Come on. It's a useful utility spell. I'm not lugging a body back. He can walk on his own and carry his own weight. Yeah, there's a few extra problems created for the whole how are we going to get him actually raised or resurrected now, but we brought most of him back. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
The spell requires a drop of blood, a piece of flesh from the type of creature being animated, and a pinch of bone powder or a bone shard to complete the spell. Casting the spell is not a good act, and only evil priests use it frequently.
Yep. So, having that lawful good priest cast it on a fallen comrade so he can walk back,
Well, it's interesting
he might have a little problem with that.
Well, it's interesting in AD&D they give you a choice. In Basic, they flat out say no good cleric or priest can use this spell, period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is more for those who actually focus on the alignments, and if you have a good cleric who's using this to keep somebody around so that they can get him raised eventually, you're looking at him slowly becoming more and more evil in the alignment, sliding down the track.
I would say
also known as DM fun.
Yeah. I mean, to me personally, for that kind of thing, I would be... Your priest is going to have to spend some time at the temple atoning for that one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's one of those where, I can, the high priest be like, I can understand why you would do this, but it's really not done. You're going to spend some time here atoning for this. And you can tell your adventuring buddies to stay in town for a while because you're not going to see them.
I actually let this go for a single atonement, a single day's atonement. My one player died. They didn't have a resurrection spell, and he didn't want to make a new character, so he animated dead and brought a skeleton along, carrying his own backpack and goods, but all they had was a skeleton. So essentially, the skeleton got back, got him to the place. They resurrected him, and he told him, "The only reason you're alive is because of my God. Now you're God." He brought another follower into the folds of the deity. The deity's like, all right, I'll let it go. You brought me another follower.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, loophole. Okay.
No. Essentially, the player character, when he leveled up, he took one level in priest.
Okay.
He literally became...
Dual class.
Yeah, he became dual class to become a follower of the god.
Interesting.
That is weird.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you open it up to good characters, I mean, there's going to be a lot of creativity there, but there's going to be a lot of abuse, too.
Yeah, it's just one of those...
I'm not going to stop grinning.
Stop it. All right, let's say creative abuse.
Yeah, go ahead, full on. Let's hear it.
I said my piece. It's a useful utility spell. It's a useful combat spell, especially if you suddenly discover you're outnumbered and say, oh, we really need to cover our retreat. Let's take the other half of the 50 goblins that were fighting us that we've killed so far that we can't finish killing and make them fight the rest of them so we can run away.
Yep.
Good plan. Later. Various things are optional.
It said human or humanoid, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's human or humanoid. Yeah.
Cover our tracks by animating like dead squirrels and chipmunks and stuff to attack.
Yeah, it does have a notation on the spell that if you do small animals, you actually get double the number. It's a 1-1 hit.
You can do small animals.
Yeah,
cool.
You can do all kinds of stuff. Where do you think they get zombie and skeleton dragons from? Really ambitious use of this spell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really That's a really powerful priest
doing it. Like the ritual version of this spell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I make sure my clerics don't have this when I'm doing my dungeon delving and I'm DMing because there's nothing like them grabbing an orc, raising it. Who needs a 10-foot pole? Walk that orc down the hallway 10 feet ahead of us. Okay, we lost him to the door trap. He opened the door. Walk in, kill something else in that room. Do it again. Okay, we have our zombie back. Walk him in front of the group. It's a good trap finder.
You're basically playing Weekend at Bernie's down the dungeon.
Yeah,
Yes,
pretty much.
exactly.
And like I said, that's the reason why they're like, only evil will use this frequently.
Well, there you have it, folks. 2 pretty good utility spells. Tell us about it at THACOShammer@gmail.com, which means we go on to Snape Hunt.
To fools who laugh at death. Do you know what horrors lie beyond that wall?
No.
Then you go first.
This world's divided into two kinds of people, the hunter and the hunted. And luckily, I'm a hunter. Nothing can ever change that.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
I'll swallow your soul!
Come get some.
Time for a snipe.
Snipe hunt! We want our mummy. We got the mummy. The mummy is here.
Are you my mommy?
I was hoping that would not be said.
What? Doctor Who quote?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I spent time on Save or Die. I'm immune to Doctor Who quotes.
Oh, yeah. Liz does use those a lot, doesn't she?
Liz, Mike, Jim. Okay, we've got Mummy and Greater Mummy.
Yeah.
So if one ain't enough, just bump them up.
Mummy and Grandmummy.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
I personally like mummies.
Yeah, mummies are a wonderful opponent for the player characters because they are very hard to kill.
This is one monster I have never used in a campaign DMing.
What? Really?
You should.
Never have used a mummy in a campaign that I can remember.
Yeah.
What they got mummy rot. What's not to love?
Make a run at the murder hole. I've got one in there waiting for you.
They're
Several, in fact.
What's not to like? They're 2 square movements per turn?
Yeah, their movement. No, their movement 6.
Yeah.
Movement 6. It's slow. It's supposed to be because this is based off the old horror movie mummies of the 30s and 40s, right?
What players do you know act like Lauren Bacall and go like this against the wall? Nobody.
No,
you don't know my players.
Okay, I'm gonna walk away just a little bit faster than the mummy. Okay, you get away from the mummy.
Well, the Greater Mummy's movement is 9, though.
Yeah.
So that's a lot better.
A little better, yeah.
And the halflings and the dwarfs in the party are going to get hung out unless you stick around and give them some backup,
I'm not a big fan of the basic mummies either because
Really?
I always found GMing they don't have like a real good sweet spot. It's like either they're overwhelming to a low-level party, or when the party hits a certain level, they're just pretty easy to blow away.
It all depends. I mean,
I like the mummy that's like a wizard or something like that.
Like in the recent movie, The Mummy, where they have all kinds of different mummies in those pyramids.
Those were juju zombies.
Yes.
The Royal Guard were juju zombies.
Anyway, I don't know. It's me loving the old Universal horror films, but at the same time, I can understand the movement problem because first thing I would do is bump up the movement. Have you ever watched The Mummy that Hammer Studios put out? Christopher Lee.
No.
Man, that guy moves. I mean, he will break into a house 1, 2, 3 steps, and he's got you by the throat.
Yeah, but that's also because he's scaring you to death while he's coming at you. Yeah,
I mean, total
just
surprise. Yeah, I mean, I know, but I mean, he's got the moves. He is not like Lon Chaney going.
Well, how about a new magic item? Roller skates of the pharaohs.
There we go. Yeah, I like
which
that.
work fine until you get into the sand. Anyway,
then it turns into a half track.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
All right, well, let's break it down. Let's see. Their terrain is desert subterranean. The frequency is rare. Organization is pack. Activity cycle is at night. Intelligence is low. Alignment's lawful evil. Number of appearing 2 to 8. Armor class of 3. Movement rate of 6, as we've said. Hit dice 6 plus 3. THACO's 13. 1 attack per round. 1 to 12 damage per attack. Okay, that's the basic. Now we get into the interesting things, such as mummy rots. Yeah, the mummy rot. Yeah, but even before the mummy rot, they have.
Don't they have a fear aura?
Yes, I was getting to that. The mere sight of a mummy causes such terror in any creature that a saving throw versus spell must be made, or the victim becomes paralyzed with fright for 1 to 4 rounds. Straight out of Lon Chaney. Numbers will improve.
That's why he can get up to him and kill him.
Numbers will bolster courage for each 6 creatures present. The saving throw is improved by 1. Humans save against mummies at an additional +2. Now that's actually good. Okay. A single blow from one's arm inflicts 1 to 12 points of damage, and worse, its scabrous touch infects the victim with a rotting disease which is fatal in 1 to 6 months. For each month the rot progresses, permanently loses 2 points of charisma, which would be comeliness in my campaign, but eating apples and oranges. The disease can only be cured by a cure disease spell. Cure wound spells have no effect on a person inflicted with mummy rot, and his wounds heal at 10% of the normal rate. Which means you are going to be hung up,
For a while.
Yeah, you're going to be hung up for a while, exactly. A regenerate spell will restore damage, but will not otherwise affect the course of the disease. So, yeah, that's kind of tough. Let's see. Mummies can only be harmed by magical weapons, which only inflict half damage. Sleep, charm, hold, and cold-based spells have no effect. The poison and paralysis. This is the funny part. A resurrection spell will turn the creature into a normal human, a fighter of 7th level ability with the memories of its former life, or will have no effect on the mummy if the mummy is older than the maximum age the priest can resurrect. So there's a little figuring out there to do there. A wish will also restore the mummy to human form, but a remove curse will not. Now, let's see. They're vulnerable to fire, even non-magical fire. A blow with a torch inflicts 1 to 3 points of damage. Burning oil inflicts 1 to 8 on the first round, and 2 to 16 on the second. Wow. Magical fires at +1 damage per die. Vials of holy water inflict 2 to 8 points of damage per direct hit. Okay. Any creature killed. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm reading ahead to the greater mummy.
Okay. Any creature killed by a mummy rots immediately and cannot be raised from death unless both a cure disease and a raise dead spell are cast within 6 rounds. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Usually these are guardians of crypts, or at the very least guardians of the treasure within the crypt, and leaving out the crypt thing for a minute. And they even have a little procedure for actually making a mummy, which is interesting.
Did you hear about the 2 adventurers in the tomb that got touched with mummy rot and invented hockey?
Wow.
There's a face off in the corner.
Oh.
All right, sorry.
I'm looking ahead to the greater mummy. Now, if that's the rank and file mummy,
mm-hmm.
The greater mummy is, if you remember the Brendan Fraser movie, The Mummy,
mm-hmm.
that guy is the greater mummy. He's commanding the mummies.
Yep.
And because of things like, he's tougher, he's got more hit dice, mm-hmm. and also they've got genius level intelligence.
Yes, exactly.
And they can telepathically control the mummies.
Yep. So, and also they have an aura of fear that causes all creatures to see them to make a fear check.
And like dragons,
mm-hmm.
their AC hit dice and THACO change how old they are.
Yes, they get more and more powerful as the older they get.
Just like a dragon, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In fact, they may even change alignment. Not to get anything good, but
nope.
I was just looking through this. It was just incredible. Wow.
Yeah, they're tough. Really tough.
So just give me 2 wands of chromatic orb for gold.
There you go.
Good luck with that.
Boom, boom.
Good luck with that.
May I suggest an alternative, Corey, if you don't like regular mummies?
Yeah.
What I used in my last D&D game was Tokis. You heard me talk about Tokis.
Oh, yes. Yes.
They're the same thing. They got everything the mummy has. They're 2 feet tall. You can't see them. They hide.
That's just messed up.
Yeah, actually, what I was thinking of is actually having mummies and them actually giving them like a bracelet with like a curse of like haste on them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. And I'm looking at the
join our Kersey as a mummy.
Imhotep, not Imhotep. Is it? Yeah, Imhotep of the movie is a greater mummy.
Yeah.
Yes.
The mummy priest.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the age and ability table. These things get really nasty. They're
ugly.
The mummy rot gets more and more powerful, which means the less time goes by before your character dies. They start developing magic resistance.
Right, and to make sense with the movie I just talked about, genius level intelligence, they're probably shamans.
More important, their
just
wisdom
like the
gets higher.
Yes.
Especially if they're going to be priests as well, and their wisdom gets higher and higher and higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or mages.
They're mummies of high
and they get magic resistance.
Start developing magic resistance.
Oh.
And they get more and more mummies the older they get. Trying to defeat a 500-year-old greater mummy with 7 to 28 regular mummies as his minions. Yeah, good luck with that.
And your 6 months of putting things off for putting away with your regular mummy rot disease problem. No. Yeah, it's days.
Yeah,
days.
Yeah. It goes from 99 or less. It goes from 1d12 days, 500 or more, 1d3 days.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, so you better have a lot of cure disease spells ready because you are going to need them.
So you guys never use mummies? That's too bad.
Oh, I have. I use them all the time.
Mummy.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, for sure. I use them all the time. Any place where treasure needs to be guarded. I mean, I've never used the greater mummy because I've never even seen this table up until recently. And yeah, they're just
Look out.
Yeah, look out. Yeah, you want to do a desert, you want to do a pyramid, and you want to have Tutankhamun in, at the end of it. Yeah, he's a greater mummy. He's been dead for 400 years.
Hey, remember those rules about on occasion you put something in an adventure that the players are supposed to know? Look, just run.
Yeah.
B2 lower level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Random roll generated for the level of the party. There was a mummy down there.
Mm-hmm. I've done it.
I followed the rules to populate it by the module write-up, and they found one the hard way.
Mm-hmm. And if they were lucky, they all break their saves against the fear, and they ran away. If they were lucky.
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing I fight with a 10-foot pole. Don't you dare touch me.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw burning oil. I'm going to shoot flaming arrows. I'm going to cast flaming arrows.
Mm-hmm.
Anything other than close to grapple.
Yes.
Anything other than close to grapple. Mm-hmm. To include, I don't have to run faster than everyone in the party. I don't have to run faster than the mummy. I just have to run faster than you.
Yep. That's what it comes down to. I mean, and
especially mummies with rings of haste on them.
Hey,
Yeah.
let me ask, Richard, have you ever written any mummies in any of your horror anthologies or anything?
I'm pretty sure I must have had them in the trilogy I did about Faye that was lousy with undead. They didn't play a big part in that, but they got to been in there.
I think I remember some from your undead novel group for Forgotten Realms that had.
That's what I'm talking about.
There were like some of the minion generals.
Yeah, because I was trying to showcase as many different kinds of Forgotten Realms undead as I possibly could, so they had to bit in there somewhere. I did a lot more with like liches and vampires.
Yeah, and there's of course the elven version where you can have your good mummies.
Yep.
Which are your elder elves who just, I'm not really dead yet. I'm dead, but I'm not done yet. That's more important.
I never really cottoned to those elven good liches and stuff. It's like, what use are they really to the GM?
Well, because sometimes you have to throw a curveball with experienced players. You have to make it look like a certain thing, but it isn't that thing. And then they find out to their detriment, possibly later, that that mummy, I mean that lich that you tried to kill, and basically just teleported you out. That lich could have been an ally if you had stopped for a moment. But all liches are evil, not all of them.
And it could be a real problem if you happen to have, say, a Death Slayer in the party. who's getting a mission to go do some good thing from one of these mummy liches, or mummy liches, one of these elven good liches or mummies who's saying, hey, this is kind of important and needs to be taken care of, and he's going, kill it now, and the party's all trying to hold him back on a leash saying, look, animal, down, we'll go get something for you to cross later.
Yeah, go play the drums, animals. Cut down, heel, sit. But yeah, and that's where the role-playing aspect comes in, where you've got to basically talk down your dad, from frying this mummy who's actually, beneficent. Is that how it's pronounced? I always
beneficent.
Thank you.
Well, there you go, folks. A lot of good mummy ideas, and I don't know. Talking about this makes me want to go play the Lost City now.
I do have that. Well, actually, there are no mummies.
Hammers of the Dead, he just got a little deadlier.
No, actually, there are no mummies. Actually, I take that back. Yeah, there are mummies in the Lost City. My Lost City.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about it, folks. THACOshammer@gmail.com. And now, the good part. Brainstorm.
Now you tell me what you know.
Only the infinity of the depths of a man's mind can really tell the story.
What are you, a wizard, a genius?
DM Brainstorm 2E edition.
Okay.
Listen to my show, but listen to this too.
Yeah, it's always 2E edition here.
Yep.
Yes, sir. We're gonna do a haunted house, haunted mansion, some kind of building.
Yep, haunted mansion.
Well, haunted warehouse. They're real popular right now. Yeah, right.
Something like that. But,
okay.
Okay,
let's start.
Location.
Where?
All right.
I'm favoring swamp. Anybody else?
Oh.
Center of town.
Oh,
Center of town.
Okay. Well, okay. I have to. All right. I have to recuse myself from that for a moment because as soon as you said that, I started thinking of Baldur's Gate 2 Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2.
There you go. EA 2.
Yep. Oh, you know about that, Corey?
Of course I do. It's Forgotten Realms. Yes. Forget before I made my own campaign world. Yes, Ed sucked me in. That's where I lived. I didn't know Glantry. I didn't know Greyhawk. I didn't know any of that. Ed sucked me in from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad way to go, really.
Expensive, but
I know
not
Dark
bad.
Alliance 2. I know Dark Alliance 2 quite well.
Yeah.
So we're talking what, center of town is bad or what?
Well, center of town.
What's the difference?
Center of a town in a swamp country. We're going a little Creole.
Well, hold on. What did you say, Richard? I'm sorry.
One of the basic things that makes horror work is isolation. You're cut off from potential help. You're cut off from. You're also normally cut off from being able to just run away. So there's two potential approaches to that. One is to indeed stick it in a swamp or some god awful place like that. The other is indeed to stick it in the center of town, but then the big surprise that comes is after the sun goes down, you can't get out, and nobody else can get in.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Richard, little side note here. Have you ever seen the old TV show Thriller with Boris Karloff?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many spooky old southern mansions in that show. It was incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Every other episode, they were going into a spooky old haunted southern mansion.
Yeah, I watched that since I was a kid, long ago. I should watch that.
I got it all on DVD.
All right. So which one are we doing? We doing out in the swamps, or are we doing it in the center of town?
We can do the swamp.
What
Richard says makes sense, and he's the horror expert.
So, full on, what were you saying?
Well, I was just going to say that's part of why they have that, just like that whole Louisiana, New Orleans thing, that they don't bury anybody below ground because there is no digging in. Everybody's up anyway. That's why they have all those really big walls and fences around the necropolis of any kind of major graveyard. Mm-hmm. And you could have that be the mansion in the center of such a complex like that.
Okay. All right.
In or out of town, but yeah, we could split the difference and use both. We can use swamp aspects and we can use mansion aspects.
Okay. And of course, that's to keep things from getting out rather than to keep things from getting in.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let's see. Okay. All right. Now that we have a haunted mansion, what is it haunted by?
Shall we start with the curse,
Okay.
or something like that, or some kind of backstory that justifies all these spooks and specters and all that other stuff?
I want to say that it was cursed by the local druid.
Oh, before Christianity came in.
I'm going to say it was a curse due to the owners of the mansion terraforming or clean-cutting part of the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
And in retribution, the place got dark.
Okay.
Good one.
I'm thinking the person came in, it was a wealthy adventurer, retired, and went, yeah, just clean out a couple acres of these trees here with all of my followers. And the druid's like, no, that's not happening. And then he finds out, oh, you guys mortally wounded the druid. Wow, how come everybody's getting sick? How come my land's starting to get swampy?
We can add another tone to that, too, because they didn't want to go for the cheap or the expensive route of importing all the stone. They dug in deep and got the stone, but when you dig in a swamp, you're going to lose lives.
Yep.
And many of those lives are haunted lives and tortured lives.
Yep.
Well, one way to go with the, kind of the haunted mansion or cursed place archetype is that, yeah, you can have the one big sin, like where they kill the druid, but you can have a lot of different members of the family who are all weird and perverted in various ways.
That's where I was going to go.
A cursed family.
Oh, no. One of the members of the family is, since we're on this kick anyway, one of them's
like
a
an ancestor?
Necromancer. One of them
Necromancer family member, yeah.
Yes.
Who used to be a sea captain and learned all sorts of really weird rituals and stuff from overseas when he was a sea captain.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Dabbled in the dark arts, shall we say.
And when he get back, he decided, I like it. I'm going to raise dead.
Yes, he decided he's going to somewhere close to the mansion, but not too close. That's where he decided to put his tower, or his lair, if you will. And he started dabbling around with the undead and raising undead. And that's what got the druid's attention, aside from, clearing of the land, their workers dying in rather nasty ways, and the family not giving a crap about it, letting them just die where they are of disease, malaria, whatever diseases you want to say, and they just died there, and that's what caused them to haunt full on.
I'm thinking this enclave or space needs to be like on the scope of the palace and grounds of Versailles.
Wow.
We're talking multiple stories, large outbuildings,
absolutely.
long hallways and wings, mazes, swamp mazes, and hedge mazes combined with bridges, and some gator-filled waterways.
Are we going to charge admission to this?
Whatever adventure.
I'm thinking the curse took one of the daughters of the sea captain.
Okay.
Who got sick and died, and he used his ability to bring back his loving daughter, and she came back wrong.
They always come back wrong.
Of course. Yeah, haven't you watched freaking Game of Thrones? That didn't work out too well then either.
Haven't you watched American Horror Story Coven?
Yeah.
Then there's that.
Well, what I'm thinking, we're supposed to be DMs brainstorming for a module or a campaign adventure. I'm thinking a bunch of players going into a house and seeing a black hair in the face girl in wet night clothes with rotted skin walking towards them, and the cleric steps up all confident and goes, "Turn undead," and she's actually a revenant because she's been brought back for revenge against the druid.
Yep.
The druid is dead. She cannot complete the task that a revenant is set up to do.
She keeps trying, though.
And she's not an evil undead. Revenants aren't evil. They are there for a task.
Yep.
You can't turn them.
You complete their task.
And they're gone.
They're gone.
They're
It's a
souls are
spirit
gone.
with it's a spirit with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the wailing child haunting some of these long corridors and outbuildings.
Oh yeah, there's going to be creepy kids.
You want to throw in a little
Creepy
bit
kid
of-
ghosts all over the place.
Yeah, you want to throw a little bit of classic Gothic business, you can have a member of the party who bears an unfortunate resemblance to that you're supposed to kill.
To the druid.
Yes.
Okay.
And the revenant's trying to kill him.
Yep.
I want to play Vincent Price.
Hey, just write on the back of the module in the box text, party must include one druid.
Ooh.
If this sea captain is as nasty as we saying he is, I'm thinking all of these outbuildings. One of these outbuildings should be his. I'm not going to say torture chamber, but let's just say that there's an half-finished flesh golem waiting for its master to return.
How long ago was this?
That's a good question.
Well, let's see. But let's see. If we're going to go that route, we have to include the D&D question. Okay, now the sea captain, who's dabbled in the dark arts, the member of the family who is, who's the necromancer who they don't talk about, and this family is a bunch of evil bastards. So, not one of them give a crap about, anything beneficial to others. All they care about is themselves, which is why they let their servants basically wither and die from malaria, from mosquito bites, and whatever else.
Each of the greater outbuildings, complex nodes are going to be the manse or dominion of one of each of these greater family members.
Oh, Tigo
like
Manor.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
can maneuver from sector to sector through the long halls. You can maneuver across through the garden mazes if you choose, or around the outer perimeter inside the high walls.
So it's Temple of Elemental Evilish.
Brian?
Yes?
Can we have a boxing ring in the dining room?
Corey!
I'm just kidding.
Oh, dude. You
No.
keep that up. I'm not putting you through Castle Amber if you keep that up.
Come on.
Oh, my God. He wants to do that so bad. Anyway.
Folks at home, I just did a reference to one of the classic D&D modules, Castle Amber.
Who I did in the second edition adaptation too, which will probably be, future episodes of Hammers of the Duchy. But, okay, back to this. Okay. Now... All right, so we've got haunted the entire grounds in one way or another, be it by just by spirits of the servants who died in horrible ways, or undead from various experimentations and whatnot. Okay.
Okay,
now,
we've got we got the place, we got the backstory.
Yeah. How do we stop it?
How do we stock it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, Brian said STOP.
Yeah, stop.
You said
we can go to that. We can do that first. All right. Oh, let's see.
Well, you say you're going to split these off into sections. We can start getting a little creative with the sections now.
Okay.
Yeah, and to stock it, again, you don't have to tie yourself to a level range. You can have one of these things be a scalable adventure where you just get in the foyer, in the antechamber, in the front room zone and start learning that there's a problem to deal with. You start reclaiming section by section of the zone and get to level up a bit in between, and things get worse the farther back from the front gates you get.
Hold on. You're basically describing THACO Manor right now, because that's
exactly
what it's like.
It works.
I'm thinking there needs to be a rather handsome son in the family who owns one of these outcropping building sections, who was married off to a princess to play Game of Thrones and failed and returned shamed to the family, and has since decided to torment and torture his servants to the point where he's now a shade.
And a moor with a hound on it. No. That's another story. Sorry.
You could also have some kind of undead who in life was the most dangerous game kind of hunter.
A hunter!
Oh, yeah.
Who continues to pursue that hobby as an undead.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, but I would say probably at least a wraith or a specter You know, something really, really powerful, but not, so powerful that there's no chance
Let's
to
go
defeat it.
gassed.
Yeah.
Cannibalism always makes it better. Plus, it's something that you can dangle over there with a little bit of intelligence left. He can I'm going to nibble on your fingers. You'll probably be infected, but if you can make it out before sunrise, there's a cure waiting for you.
Well, and by the way, in this area,
monstrous hounds.
Well,
What was that?
No, by the way,
they could have some kind of pack of monstrous hunting hounds.
Oh yeah, death dogs,
hellhounds.
Hey,
Yeah,
you need
even
gulligators.
Yeah,
you got to have
hounds.
gulligators in this place.
Oh yeah,
Alligators?
Yeah,
Alligators.
Yeah,
I'm seeing a couple of packs of undead roaming lizard men myself.
Yeah, I mean,
I was going to ask. Do we have like a clutch of ghouls underneath the graveyard, or?
Yeah, we can do lizard men ghouls.
Whoa. And an undead beholder in the swamp next door. No.
What's worse than ghouls?
Well,
ghouls with a tail with a swim of 15.
Well, first thing. Upon this demence, or is that the right word? Yeah, demence.
Yeah.
Upon entering this demence, turning does not work at all.
Oh no, the curse won't allow turning.
Yeah, this area is so screwed up. This area is just so rife with anti-life and and just fell dark powers that turning does not work.
If the pantheon in the heavens watched the world as a TV, this station would be fuzzy.
I would definitely, if you're going to go that route, do not make them completely nerf the cleric. Give them a function. Use a 3E-ism here and let the turn perform other functions. Let it be the knock spell that can open a door to a sanctuary. Let it be, using a holy turn.
Vampires.
No, using the holy turn to exercise other powers can be useful. Just flat writing it off, I think, would be a poor choice.
What about lessening it to the point of one target?
Okay. In other words, this place is the dead zone.
Yeah.
The dead zone. Okay.
That'll work.
Yeah, I mean, instead of arcane power not working, divine power doesn't work.
I'm glad we have I'm glad we have a backstory on this. Otherwise, it'd turn into like House of Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here come the werewolves. Here come the vampires. Here come the ghouls. Well,
well,
do we want a BBEG underneath this whole thing, or somewhere behind it?
Yeah, two of them.
I'm thinking we can do something like that. Like, who inspired this sea captain, or who has manipulated him into turning his rod onto his home front? The shadow dragon in the basement.
Nah, not shadow dragon. No. I was saying the cousin with the necromancer who basically kept to his own, or at least that everyone thought he kept to his own in his little necropolis over on the far side of the property. He's the one who's been slowly turned, as dark and as nasty and as evil as the family is. He's slowly been, I hate to use the word, but it's the only one that fits, devolving them, and turning them darker. And and he's the one who's sort of I hate to use the name, he's the Palpatine behind it, because he's got some sort of artifact that helps him, or at least
he worships Orcus.
I was actually,
and this place is called Innsmouth.
Innsmouth.
Mm-hmm. He's making a really joke.
Sorry, I'm reading Innsmouth right now.
I know, but I'm glad we turned it the Gothic direction, because this could have gone Cthulhu real easy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. We're gonna stop short of going Cthulhu. I mean, even stop maybe just short of going Ravenloft, because if we go Ravenloft, that just complete. We might as well take this mansion and plop it in the domain of dread.
Let's go Ravenous one step instead of Ravenloft, and we'll add in a Wendigo or two.
All right.
Okay.
That's interesting.
That's good.
How about I foresee if this place has been around for a while, everybody knows, including special writers who we have as guests, monsters move into certain places that are left empty after a while.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that this curse is not only affecting the good people who come in here, but also the monsters. So, what are those undead eye tyrants?
Oh,
undead
yes.
beholders?
Yeah, undead beholders. Okay.
Have one of them floating in the basement or in the sub catacombs that have been dug out, as full on said. I'm thinking maybe
That's quite a trick being in the South.
There's
Yeah,
gonna
With
be,
the water table.
like I said, they took lives getting stone locally. So there
Yeah.
are subterranean levels. You're going to have flooded levels, and you're going to have not flooded levels.
some flooded levels up to your waist, so the players can't see into the water, but they have to walk like along a dark corridor, a la Aliens too.
Now, I want to add one more thing. Well, not one more thing, but I want to add a non-undead NPC in this.
Okay.
You mean like Old Man Smithers, the gardener?
I'm thinking of the caretaker in the graveyard.
Okay.
Okay.
Or a servant or something that's gone crazy or something in the house, like a butler or something. But I think the caretaker in the graveyard would work better.
Are you talking a nice NPC, or are you talking a bad NPC?
I'm talking about you don't know NPC. He knows where all, quote unquote, the bodies are buried.
The bones are buried,
the secrets, all the secrets. He helps out the PCs, but they got to figure it out because he talks in like he's kind of long. He's old. He's lost it, so he talks in riddles and circles, and they have to figure out what he means.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fine.
What, Corey? No. Oh. Corey had this big smile on his face, and it's like, what, did I say something right? Yeah. You son of a gun. But, yeah, so they got like one NPC in there who everybody in town knows because he comes to town every once in a while to get food and stuff. And, oh, man, that guy's crazy. I don't even know why he's
no one messes with him. They know where he lives. No, they basically give him what he wants, what he pays for, and they do everything to usher his old butt out of town because they want nothing to do with it.
I'm gonna say the necropolis graveyard, whatever, is on the edge of a swamp, and he has a shack right there on the water.
Okay.
Watching over the graveyard.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That sounds
works
good
for me.
Yeah, without black powder, so he can't shoot his shotgun, Corey.
We need a trigger event. We need a trigger event to get this circumstance to turn into a problem that the players need to solve. I think the trigger event is the necropolis has gotten full enough, the evil has steeped in deep enough that they started roaming out, and you have the fog-type walkers coming out of the shoreline into the actual town to take more victims.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. The power... Now it's expanding outward very slowly to where, now it's starting to affect trade, and that, of course, is going to trigger problems. Yeah,
I'll go with that, but here's an alternative thought. Like Fullon said, the evil has steeped and starts spreading out, and if, say, it starts from the graveyard and it goes out into the swamp, aren't there creatures, fey creatures, other creatures in the swamp who don't like this because it's encroaching into the swamp, their domain?
Oh, okay. Let's put another druid out there, but a junior druid, like way in over her head druid.
I was thinking like something more fey, like fairies or whatever. But you know, druid will work too.
Yeah, I mean, see, my whole thing is that I can't think of very many fey that actually make their residences in swamps. Mostly it's forests and that kind of stuff.
What were you saying, Richard?
I was going to say that I like everything you're saying. The other way to go would be to say, put them on the trail of some ancient book or something. And we think it's here. And they have no idea of what they're walking into, and then they get into this place that's like, holy shit!
Yes. They screw up the Cloud Tower out of Nick too. Yes.
Oh yeah, always got to be a bad book.
Yeah, it could be the Book of the Dead or Book of, whatever, the soul-sucking Book of Muthmalamo or something like that.
You could even have them.
Bass Book of 9 Lives, a book for every alignment.
Ooh, now there's an interesting thing. Is that an actual item, or did you make that up?
Just made it up.
Okay. I want to write up by next week.
Oh,
now
great.
I'm curious.
Great. He gets the thank you in Richard's next book, and not me. Fine. But yeah, you're right. Book, amulet, whatever, some MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what you were saying about they come to look for something and they just stumble on this like, whoa, we're way over our heads and we can't leave.
Right. Yeah. Because see, my whole problem is that if you can't leave, then that's basically comes down to attrition because the party's not going to find very many safe havens.
Well, it's not only that, but
especially if you've taken the clerics.
Well, it's not only that, but if you say they can't leave, then they're not going to be able to get out to Old Man Smithers' swamp shack to get information.
Right.
So they're going to have to be
that's
able
part of the property.
Oh, you're saying that's on the property. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
The property's on the edge of the swamp.
Got it.
Yeah, he's like right next to where the necropolis is, which is where the necromancer is doing his thing.
And there's no reason you can't have a safe haven. Say they were a bunch of bastards, but they still had a chapel on the grounds.
Okay.
An old chapel. That could be the safe haven.
You could even have one. You could even have one in each of the major sections of the complex. You're going to have a greater family chapel, centrally located somewhere. That is the chapel. But there will also be the little offshoot individual worshiper prayer room chapels and each of the other things that could be those kind of places sealed under a secret door that can be opened by the cleric's turn spell used as a knock.
Right, what were you saying, Richard?
Well, the you can't leave, that's sort of the classic thing that you do with the sort of one night of horror story.
Right.
If we're picturing this big campaign where, it's going to be session after session after session, clearing all these different areas, I wouldn't necessarily go with that in pure form, but what I would go with is, once you're in it, you're in it. Once you're in one of these sections,
you finish it.
It's often going to be very difficult to leave until you've dealt with what's there.
Yeah. And as far as like the chapels and stuff go, okay, everybody was a bastard, but they had one good person in there who was maybe a high priest of some good aligned god. He was the one who set up all these chapels and stuff.
Okay, the prayer room thing, that will be probably mission 1 of the party once they enter into this demence, is finding those little pockets where they can actually sleep the night. And
I'm thinking that those prayer rooms and the chapels are going to be the only place that the divine actual magic works.
Yes, that's the other thing.
Due to the fact that their curse can't touch it.
So they can heal.
Yeah.
Yes, they can heal. Yeah. What I was thinking is, what happens in every adventure? They go in, and what does everybody do after they kill all the monsters?
They leave. They take the treasure and leave.
Okay, so if they can leave, I'm saying let them leave. Here's my thing. Okay, so they went in and killed some creatures, got some treasures. We picked up a couple gold platters. My backpack's got a couple of goblets in it. We're going back into town to get reprovisioned. Less and less people want to talk to you. Why? I don't know. But now you're not getting sold to. Shoot. All right, now we have to pay double. Okay, they begrudgingly deal with you. Then we're going to go in and clear out the next section. Let's go back into town and get provisions. Funny, everyone's ignoring you. They're not talking to you. Why? You're carrying part of that evil into town with you.
All the stuff is cursed.
They will not deal with you.
Taking a page out of Curse of the Black Pearl, they're accidentally cursed.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's the fact that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I was saying that it's you can let them leave. Let them leave the evil property. The problem is, as long as they have a portion of that evil on them, nobody will deal with them. You cut off them.
It doesn't even need to be like a supernatural effect. It can just be that the villagers don't know what the hell you're doing out there.
Right.
All they know is that you're hanging out at this place where nobody's supposed to go.
Yep.
What if they sent you out there?
Well, that's different.
Yeah, okay, I was just saying, yeah.
But bringing the residue of evil back with you is going to be a problem until you can prove that the evil's gone. So they won't want the stuff you have brought because it still carries the taint.
Yeah, and
the thing that might work with that is, again, let's tie it into something else that we just went over. What stirs up a mummy faster than anything?
Taking the treasure.
Taking the treasure.
So taking the treasure, taking the...
Somebody in this compound, somebody of the elder, matriarch, patriarch, power variety in this house is mummified, greater mummified, and wants their things back.
And sends out the stormtroopers.
We can always tie in what's the big evil, big BBEG, because what a Beholder's originally made for.
The sea captain, who is now a lich.
Guarding treasure.
That's right.
So you've got that death tyrant or whatever they're called, and you've just stolen some of its treasure and tried to take it back into town. All right, he wants his stuff back.
And you got to kill him. Or destroy him, I should say.
Yep. There's going to be a lot of killing going on.
The village discovers this and decides, hey, you guys are kind of fired. We don't want to stir up any more problem. But the cat's out of the bag now, and you've either got to go the distance or let the town be overrun and claimed by evil.
I'm liking this. I think I'm running this next weekend.
Oh.
Let us know. Next week, let us know how it went.
Yeah, for sure. And Undead Beholders, I'm looking right at it.
You got this written down, Ryan?
Undead Beholder. No, it's recorded for all posterity, so no need to write it down unless we're going to start publishing it.
You're like Vince is making me write everything down to put on the website.
No.
Okay. Well, folks, you got a whole pile of horror and evil right there, and we didn't even get into the vampires.
We don't need to touch vampires.
No, vampires are unnecessary this time.
You don't think Beholders would have
too much running water around here anyway.
That's true too.
True.
That's true. All right, the werewolves, whatever.
Yeah.
A little lycanthropy always does its body good. So, talk to us about you use this stuff. First of all, Corey's going to use it, so we want to hear from him. But if you use it, THACOShammer@gmail.com or our number.
405-806-0555.
I never saw the day that you'd screw it up. Wow. But thank you. So I guess it's time to, put the thing to bed. Close the splat book. Close the crypt.
Yeah.
99 is in the can.
And we're getting ready to go. Thank you, Richard, for being with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's really fun.
Really, Richard Lee Byers, and your book is. You want to plug it one more time?
Well, my Forgotten Realms, most recent Forgotten Realms book is The Reaver, and I also have a new novella out from Privateer Press set in the Iron Kingdoms called Murder in Corvus, which you can get by going to their website.
Awesome.
Which is, we'll get it on the website.
Google Privateer Press, it'll be there.
Privateerpress.com. All right, folks, say goodbye, Brian.
Until next time, folks, just remember, if you walk into a town that's bordering a swamp and there's a general sense of malaise and uneasiness and even...
You're in Innsmouth.
Yeah, there's even a chill running up your back just by walking into town. There's a definite problem that needs to be solved.
Corey, you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye, everyone. Have a good time. I'll have something witty to be put here next episode.
Right on. Full on?
I was walking in the swamp late one night. My eyes beheld an eerie sight. Corey and the gang with the hammer slammed down. See you later, Gamer Nation.
And Richard, would you like to say goodbye?
Yeah, so long, everybody.
All right, and I'm DM Glen, so we'll see you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye. Okay.
Wow. That was a good one.
We need to start publishing this stuff.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at thacoshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at thacoshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.